Imagine, for a moment, a world where the very air crackles, not just with static electricity, but with raw, untamed magic.
Hmm.
A world where choosing who you love could be an act of treason, and the line between ally and enemy, well, it blurs with every single desperate decision.
It sounds intense.
It is. You're about to dive into a story that pulls you deep into the heart of conflict, both personal and global, where every choice has kingdom-shattering consequences. Today, we're embarking on a deep dive into an intense stack of sources,
Oh,
a series of pivotal excerpts from a truly gripping book titled Onyx Storm, The Empyrean, Book 3.
right. Book 3.
And this isn't just another fantasy tale, it's a meticulously crafted narrative. It's filled with complex characters, high-stakes political maneuvering, and a relentless existential threat that pushes everyone to their absolute limits.
It really does.
It's the kind of story that, truly makes you question where lines are drawn.
And what's particularly compelling about these excerpts is how they immediately plunge us into the heart of a world teetering on the brink. I mean, right away.
Yeah, no easing in.
No easing in at all. We're grappling with impending war, significant internal dissent, and a desperate, urgent search for solutions that seem just out of reach. Throughout this deep dive, we'll be meticulously tracing the journey of a key character, navigating treacherous emotional and physical landscapes, all while the very fabric of their world hangs, well, precariously in the balance.
Mm-hmm.
It's really a masterclass in how even the most individual decisions, born of personal conviction or desperate love, can ripple outwards to affect entire nations. It sets off a chain reaction that's just impossible to halt.
Our mission today is to extract the most crucial nuggets of insight from this intense material. We'll explore the escalating threats Navarre faces, the surprising revelations about hidden powers and shifting alliances, and the deeply personal sacrifices made in the name of survival, love, and loyalty.
Heavy stuff.
Very heavy. Prepare yourself. This is a story that doesn't pull its punches. It covers everything from intense violence and brutal injuries to graphic language and perilous situations, as the book itself warns. If you're new here, we are Whispers Between Pages. On this channel, we break down and summarize powerful books, from emotional love stories to gripping thrillers. If you love stories and want to discover your next favorite read, you're in the right place. Don't forget to subscribe and like the video to support the channel. Let's continue now.
Okay, let's unpack this. So, we begin our journey immersed in the heart of the war college, Bastia. The very landscape seems to mirror the internal tension of its inhabitants.
Absolutely.
We're amidst a brutal series of storms that aren't just weather. They feel like a constant physical manifestation of the world's underlying instability.
You can almost feel the chill.
Exactly. Despite this harsh, biting cold, patrols are relentless, trampling the snow into muddy paths, a stark image of unceasing training and preparation. You can almost feel the exhaustion, the ever-present vigilance demanded of every single student. It sets a tone, doesn't it? A tone of a world that offers no real respite.
Absolutely. This environment immediately establishes a mood of perpetual readiness and profound underlying tension. It forces us to ask, what kind of external pressure could possibly require such intense, unceasing vigilance from these young riders and their dragons? Right, what are they really preparing for?
Exactly. It quickly becomes clear that this rigorous training isn't just about discipline. It's a desperate necessity for survival. We see constant patrols, second and third years are flying, leading to painful landings that literally vibrate every bone in our protagonist's body.
Oh.
Yeah. This isn't merely a school. It's a fortress preparing for an existential threat, where even the weather conspires to make life harder, forcing them to push beyond normal human endurance. It paints a vivid picture of a kingdom under siege, even in its moments of, well, relative calm.
And right in the thick of it, our protagonist, Violet, a lightning wielder that's a rare and incredibly powerful ability, manipulating raw electricity. Granted by her dragon, she's already pushing boundaries, blurring the lines of what's permissible.
Right away.
Right away. We immediately see her demanding that guards look the other way for 5 minutes for a seemingly urgent, intensely personal objective involving a locked door and a mysterious keyring.
Intriguing.
And she even uses this poignant plea, suggesting that if it were their mother and the kingdom's defense system at stake, she'd extend them the same courtesy.
Wow. Pulling on the heartstrings, but also showing her determination.
Absolutely. This isn't just a student. It instantly tells you she's operating on a different, more critical level, driven by motives far beyond just academic success. And her magnificent ancient dragon, Tarn, He's constantly grumbling about her dangerous choices, particularly her tendency to jump off to help Sawyer, a squad mate, and his general complaints about Zayden, her complicated romantic interest.
That dynamic is fascinating, the rider-dragon bond.
It really is. This illustrates an already established, deeply complex dynamic between them, and a clear hint of the central relationship that ties so much of this narrative together. Their bond, while profound, is also a source of constant negotiation, worry, and even a bit of, exasperated affection.
This is truly a pivotal moment, because amidst the daily grind of relentless training, we catch these tantalizing glimpses of a deeper, far more dangerous game being played, one that subtly but irrevocably blurs the lines of loyalty and duty.
Yeah, the stakes feel immediately higher than just passing exam.
Much higher. The narrative immediately introduces a profound internal conflict, hinting at a covert operation that directly challenges the established order of Navarre. This isn't about simple training anymore. It directly involves characters in acts that could be considered high treason.
Treason, wow.
Which immediately escalates the stakes for everyone involved. The protagonist's core motivation, we learn, is fiercely personal. She's just doing whatever it takes to save Zayden.
So it's love driving this rebellion.
Well, she resists calling it that, but yes.
Yeah.
This personal commitment, born of a deep and desperate love, is the driving force behind her willingness to defy the rules and risk everything. It highlights that powerful tension between personal imperative and societal expectation.
And this personal drive extends to the very core of her relationships, right? The squad.
Exactly. The tight-knit squad dynamic is crucial here, showcasing the deep bonds forged under immense pressure. We see Imogen, a fiercely loyal squad mate, voicing her very real concern, warning that if we get caught, it's treason.
Which is a fair point.
A very fair point. But then she immediately acknowledges the grim necessity in wartime. It's war. It shows a group bound not just by friendship, but by a shared, dangerous purpose that transcends conventional rules.
And Sadden's own internal struggle is laid bare, too. He's fully aware of their secret plans, the immense risk they're taking, and he's worried about being an unintentional leak.
Which says a lot about his integrity, doesn't it? And the burden of his power.
Definitely. His shields are thicker than the walls of this fortress, indicating incredible control over his shadow signet. His unique ability to manipulate shadows and darkness, yet also a profound fear of what even an unconscious thought might reveal, potentially compromising their entire operation.
And the intimate connection between Violet and Zagden is showcased through subtle, yet incredibly powerful gestures. He laced his fingers with mine and brings the back of my hand to his perfectly sculpted mouth.
Ah, those quiet moments.
Yeah, it's a quiet moment of profound tenderness and devotion amidst the pervasive chaos, speaking volumes about a depth and intimacy of their bond. And his fierce protectiveness is undeniable, almost bordering on possessiveness, especially in a leadership role.
How so?
Well, he directly confronts Imogen and Garrick about suggestions regarding Violet's sleeping arrangements, telling them quite bluntly to get fucked.
Okay, direct.
Very direct. This isn't merely an outburst. It's a stark refusal to allow external interference in their relationship, even from his closest friends. It underscores the depth of his devotion and his absolute disdain for anyone who might compromise her safety or well-being, even through casual remarks. It's a bold statement that truly highlights the lengths he'll go to protect what's his in a world where everything is a calculated risk.
Okay, so just as we and the characters start to settle into the brutal rhythm of the War College, that fragile calm just shatters. Terrifying realization. The enemy is not just at the gates, threatening from without,
No.
but they are already inside. It's a chilling moment that instantly changes the stakes from external conventional threats to something far more insidious, personal, and profoundly unsettling. The sanctuary itself is breached.
This revelation truly flips the script on conventional warfare, immediately emphasizing the insidious nature of the threat Navarre faces. It suggests a vulnerability that goes far beyond mere physical defenses, forcing a radical reevaluation of all security protocols and, more importantly, of trust itself.
How does it unfold?
The scene is visceral. A cadet stumbles in, screaming, "She's dead, they're all dead."
Yeah.
Just pure terror with a grotesque gray handprint marking the side of his neck.
The venom mark. Unmistakable.
Exactly. The unmistakable sign of the venom. The ultimate enemy in this world, known for their ability to drain magic and life from both humans and dragons. The protagonist, Violet, demonstrating her remarkably quick thinking, immediately deduces the horrific truth. We haven't found them out on patrol because they're already inside.
Oh, wow. Quick on the uptake.
Incredibly quick. This highlights her sharp mind and extraordinary ability to adapt to a rapidly unfolding crisis, recognizing the enemy's most insidious strategies. And what's truly disturbing, and a masterstroke of psychological warfare, is the enemy's disguise. Venin are dressed as scribes.
No.
Yes, allowing them to feed without notice, adding a terrifying layer of betrayal and making everyone a potential threat. It's a brilliant, terrifying tactic that exploits the very fabric of their society.
So facing an enemy that could literally be anyone, hiding in plain sight, the squad is suddenly thrust into brutal, close-quarters combat within the very halls of their supposed sanctuary.
From training to reality, just like that.
Just like that. It's a shocking, immediate shift. The protagonist's "none of us die today" mantra rings out, underscoring her fierce resolve and her emergent, undeniable leadership in the absolute chaos. It's a rallying cry, a promise, and a declaration for her squad.
And she backs it up.
She does. She demonstrates lethal efficiency with her daggers as her blade lodges in the left side of his chest. His body shrivels in the span of a heartbeat. This isn't just fighting. It's a quick, decisive, and horrifying neutralization of the Venin threat, showing her deadly prowess and unwavering focus under extreme duress.
What I find particularly compelling here is that immediate visceral shift from simulated drills to genuine life-or-death combat.
Yeah.
It vividly showcases the character's practical application of their hard-earned skills under truly extreme duress.
And how knowing their world helps.
Exactly. And how a deep, almost instinctual understanding of their world, even subtle cues like a scribe's behavior, can be a literal lifesaver. The true target of the infiltration is quickly revealed to be Jack Barlow, whom the Venin are attempting to rescue.
Jack Barlow. Okay, so he's important to them.
Critically important, it seems. This immediately implies his significance to their cause, connecting this terrifying, immediate threat to a larger, more complex, and potentially devastating plot that extends far beyond the War College walls. And there's a bit of history woven in too, right?
Yes, a crucial historical detail is woven in from a study on signets by Major Dalton Cisneros, which notes the rare concurrence of powerful signets during critical times.
Adding that sense of destiny.
Precisely. It adds immense weight and a sense of predetermined destiny to the current events, hinting that these characters and their unique abilities are central to a much larger, almost prophetic struggle.
And what about the leadership's reaction?
Well, during the debrief, Colonel Panchek appears surprisingly unfazed by the Venin's presence, which raises an important, uncomfortable question about the higher command.
Is it acceptance or denial?
Is this a grim acceptance of an ongoing, pervasive threat, or a dangerous disconnect from the terrifying reality of their vulnerability and the true nature of their enemy? It's hard to tell. So even with the immediate threat contained, the attack doesn't bring unity. Instead, it exposes these deep, festering rifts within Navarre's military, forcing loyalties to be declared and lines to be drawn.
Which is just what they don't need.
Exactly. It's a sobering testament to the internal pressures that even a direct, brutal enemy attack can't fully overcome. We see Aura Beinhaven, the wing leader of the remnants of the Fourth Wing, a group that suffered immense losses earlier, confront the main squad.
And she's angry.
Furious, labeling them deserters and bitterly accusing them of fracturing the quadrant. Her anger is palpable, fueled by raw personal loss, the enemy that killed my own cousin. It makes her outrage completely understandable, even as it creates further dangerous division within their ranks.
This situation really compels us to ask that critical question. In a time of war, when every choice is life or death, how do you truly define loyalty?
To the command or to the truth?
Is it an unwavering adherence to a chain of command? Or is it to a perceived greater truth, a moral imperative that transcends strict rules? The tension between these factions here is almost as dangerous, as debilitating as the external enemy itself.
But then Dane steps up. Surprisingly.
Quite surprisingly, yes. Dane Ados steps forward to defend the protagonist and her allies, stating with conviction, "We chose truth. We chose to defend the helpless."
That's a big shift for him.
A significant, crucial evolution for his character. He clearly steps away from his father's rigid adherence to rules and begins to forge his own moral compass.
And then Violet does something.
Oh yes, we witness the protagonist's unexpected, formidable display of raw power. A mental nudge from Andarna, her unique Ira dragon, reverberates through her mind. Dane isn't the strongest. I am.
Whoa.
This surge connection and confidence leads Violet to quickly pin Aura's glove to a wooden support with a dagger.
Not messing around.
Not at all. This isn't just about raw power. It profoundly demonstrates her evolving signet ability, her burgeoning courage to challenge authority directly, and her increasing confidence in her own formidable capabilities in a very public, assertive way.
But despite the conflict, she still pushes for unity.
Yes, despite the intense conflict and the deep divisions that have been exposed, the protagonist, ever pragmatic, advocates passionately for unity. She tells them with undeniable conviction, we don't have to like each other, but we do have to trust each other, and we can't keep doing this.
They need to focus on the real enemy.
Exactly. This isn't a plea born of weakness. It's a stark, desperate call for solidarity against the true existential enemy. She recognizes, with chilling clarity, that internal squabbles and old grievances are a luxury they can no longer afford if Navarre is to survive.
It's a crucial step in her painful development as a true leader, isn't it? Prioritizing the greater good.
Absolutely. Prioritizing the survival of her people over personal animosities or historical resentments.
Okay, so moving on. As if the internal strife and constant attacks weren't enough, the stakes escalate dramatically. We have Izadin's worsening, terrifying condition.
The Venom progression.
Yes, and the looming threat of Navarre's protective wards failing. A truly radical solution is required, one that demands crossing forbidden borders and delving into unknown territories.
So the personal and the global crises just merge completely.
They intertwine completely, creating an immense, palpable sense of urgency. The stark reality they face is that Oresia's wards, the magical defenses protecting their kingdom, are projected to collapse in a terrifyingly short 6 months.
6 months. That's nothing.
It's a ticking clock that complicates every possible path for solution, making every decision weighted with the potential for catastrophic failure.
This connection to the bigger picture is absolutely crucial. The personal fight for Zodin's life isn't just a romantic subplot. It directly ties into the survival of their entire kingdom. It elevates the stakes and drives the narrative forward with an immense, almost unbearable urgency.
And Violet's goal is clear.
Crystal clear. She must find a cure for Zayden's Venom progression, even if it means risking treason and abandoning all she's known. And Andarna, the protagonist's incredibly rare Irid scorpion-tailed dragon, becomes a central, critical figure here.
Why her specifically?
Her unique kind, a species of ancient, powerful dragons believed to hold vital secrets, potentially holds the key to refiring the collapsing ward stones, or finally defeating the Venom.
But there are ethical concerns.
Deep concerns. Mira, a trusted ally, voices worries about using our sister like a gaming chip, highlighting the ethical tightrope they must walk.
And Violet's navigating the politics, too.
Oh, yeah. Her defiance against Melgren, the formidable general, securing a pardon for those who had previously flown for Oresia's defense, further demonstrates her extraordinary ability to leverage fear and necessity within the precarious political landscape. It's a remarkable display of her strategic mind in a non-combat situation. She can play the political game just as fiercely as she fights.
And what about Aiden in all of this? His internal struggle must be immense.
It's poignant and heartbreaking. His inner turmoil regarding his Venom progression, his slow, terrifying transformation into the very enemy they fight, is central. He explicitly states he doesn't want to know the full extent of Violet's desperate plans to find a cure.
Why not?
He's afraid he might become an unintentional leak. It's a profoundly poignant example of his self-control and immense self-sacrifice. He fears his own deteriorating mind could inadvertently betray her.
Wow.
He expresses deep discomfort and even anger about getting his sword back, feeling horrified by what he's becoming. This isn't just physical pain, it's a profound existential struggle, grappling with losing his identity and becoming the monster he has always fought against. His internal battle is as intense and perilous as any external conflict.
So they have to leave Bazziath for this quest.
Yes, and what's particularly striking here is the stark contrast between the brutal realities of war college life and the nuanced, intricate world of political negotiation and diplomacy they enter.
Different skills needed now.
Completely different. It powerfully showcases how different kinds of intelligence are needed for survival, not just combat prowess, but wit, charm, and strategic foresight. This new phase of their quest takes them far from the familiar halls of Bazziath into the realm of complex diplomacy and unexpected encounters, testing their wits as much as their combat skills.
How's the journey itself?
Well, the initial journey to Anka and then Deverelli is deceptively easy, almost a calm before the storm, a rare moment of peace. Violet even takes a moment to note the untouched beauty of the landscapes, a stark, poignant contrast to the war-torn regions they're used to inhabiting. It underscores the preciousness of what they are fighting to preserve.
And they're looking for someone specific, a bookseller.
Yes, in a truly pivotal moment that combines cunning and history, they seek out a specific bookseller named Navarre. She's no ordinary merchant. She only entertains firebringers looking for Navarre, hinting at a unique, perhaps magical connection.
And Navarre herself.
She's fascinating. A 93-year-old woman with a razor-sharp wit and a prodigious memory. She immediately connects Violet to her father, the legendary Colonel Asher Sorrengail, and then quizzes her on incredibly specific historical details from his books, particularly about the Crowland Uprising.
So she knows more than she lets on.
Much more. She demonstrates a deeper level of insight into their mission than they could have possibly anticipated. Navarre's probing questions about Violet's love life, did he come begging your forgiveness, did you take him back, reveal her profound wisdom about human nature and relationships.
But also tests Violet's resolve.
Exactly. While also showcasing Violet's firm, unwavering stance. He didn't love me. No amount of power is worth staying with someone who doesn't love you. This personal clarity, her unshakable moral compass regarding self-worth, is a key foundational aspect of her character.
And there's something about her father's books.
Yes, the intriguing revelation that the protagonist's father's books are passcode locked adds another layer of mystery and urgency to their scholarly pursuit of answers, suggesting hidden truths and vital information still waiting to be uncovered.
Okay, so then they encounter royalty, King Courtland.
Yes, and the scene at King Courtland's palace immediately introduces another complex layer of political intrigue and moral ambiguity. Holden, the Prince of Navarre, is already present, indicating prior negotiations or, more sinisterly, ongoing schemes they're walking into blind.
What's the vibe?
Unsettling from the start. The arrival of panthers, described as little ones, sets a disquieting tone, and the king's casual, chilling remark, "Kill the rest," instantly creates tension and highlights the brutal, casual cruelty that permeates this foreign court.
Here, Holden betrays them.
His betrayal is revealed. He made a self-serving deal that explicitly impugned my honor, a deep affront to Xaden's personal code. This causes Xaden to declare, with bold defiance against Navarre's own heir, he no longer speaks for us.
Huge move.
A huge move. This moment powerfully showcases his unwavering loyalty to his own people and his unshakable principles, even when it means challenging the crown itself.
But Violet has a plan, involving Andarna.
In a stroke of truly ingenious negotiation, yes. She leverages the most unlikely asset, Andarna's presence. She has her delicate Irid dragon delicately hold the king's pet panther, Shira, in her maw.
No way!
Oh yes. Then delivers a chilling threat about little panther snacks and the unimaginable wrath of full-grown dragons to secure Xaden's pardon and an alliance.
That's bold.
And
brilliant.
It's a moment of pure strategic brilliance, showcasing her evolving strategic mind and resourcefulness far beyond just combat. She demonstrates her ability to think several steps ahead and exploit unexpected advantages.
And Xaden supports this gamble.
He demonstrates the profound depth of his commitment, willing to sacrifice his own position for Violet, his loyalty absolute. He audaciously states, "I'll assure you the only riots on Tyrrendor will be in my bed."
Wow. Okay, that's a line.
It's an audacious line that reveals the undeniable depth of their bond, his absolute devotion, and his willingness to risk everything, even his reputation and future, for her. It's a raw, passionate declaration of his priorities.
So next stop, Hedotus, Sandin's past.
Exactly. The journey to Hedotus reveals even more about Sandin's past and introduces a deeply personal, almost agonizing conflict for him. If we connect this to the broader narrative, it highlights how even the most powerful figures, those who seem to wield absolute control, are profoundly shaped by their personal histories and complex familial relationships.
Like his mother, Talia.
Precisely. Sandin's legendary self-control, the hallmark of his shadow signet, is tested here because his mother's abandonment clearly remains a deep, open wound, making his current terrifying transformation even more poignant and devastating. They arrive at Talia's home, revealing her background from Hedotus, a place of purple eyes who lived without war, a truly stark contrast to Xaden's violent upbringing.
Gives context to his life.
It offers a rare glimpse into a peaceful past he lost, emphasizing the profound sacrifices he's already made. Xaden's internal conflict regarding his Venan progression becomes paramount here. He worries obsessively about losing control and potentially hurting Violet.
His biggest fear.
His absolute biggest fear. He reveals his desperate desire to protect her, even stating, with heartbreaking sincerity, "I'd rather be powerless than potentially hurt you." This demonstrates the agonizing choice he faces between his power and the one person he truly cherishes.
But his mother and her people have other plans.
Cruelly so, yes. Talia and the triumvirate attempt to force Aiden into a contract marriage for 3 to 4 years to secure an heir for Tyrrendor and put Poromish blood in the line. It's a purely political, dynastic maneuver, stripping him of any personal agency.
How does he react?
His passionate, unyielding refusal is a truly powerful moment of defiance and devotion. Violet is the only choice I've made for myself. I won't sacrifice her for 3 years, not for a single day.
Wow, putting her completely first.
Completely. This powerfully underscores his unwavering devotion, placing their relationship and his own autonomy above dynastic duty, political necessity, and his family's expectations. It is a declaration of profound love and self-determination. And there's another challenge there too, right? A test.
Yes, the subtlety yet deadliness of Ferris's test is another fascinating detail that showcases the intricate dangers they navigate. He presents a poisoned cake using airmint and tarsilla, a fatal combination that Violet immediately recognizes.
Because of her knowledge.
Exactly, only she knows how to counter it. This instantly highlights her keen intellect, her vast knowledge accumulated from her scholarly father, and the vital, almost unique information she carries.
And how does she handle Ferris?
Her cunning use of leverage shines through again with remarkable brilliance. She forces Ferris to drink the antidote by threatening to expose his outsmarted tactics to his own people, humiliating him utterly. She then cements her advantage by revealing her true identity as Asher Daxton's girl, confirming her formidable lineage and strategic prowess to a stunned audience.
Turning the tables completely.
It's a moment of pure, decisive, strategic brilliance, turning a life-threatening situation into a political victory. And amidst all this tension and high-stakes maneuvering, there's a moment of raw, human emotion and unexpected levity with Redoc's fake injury.
Ah, Redoc.
Where he expresses his deep love and fear for Violet. Yeah, I love you too. It's a stark, powerful reminder of the profound bonds of friendship and found family within the squad, not just the romantic relationships, grounding the epic fantasy in deeply relatable human connection. Okay, so the quest for answers, for the cure, leads them finally to Unbridle, this place of ancient wisdom. But it's not good news, is it?
No, paradoxically, it delivers a truly devastating blow to their hopes for a simple solution. The arrival at Zynel is described as the oddest and potentially most dangerous as yet, with a bizarre crowd anticipating Zynel's gift, a peculiar ritual that yields strange results like Redoc's unexpected kisses.
Right, adding that surreal touch.
A layer of surreal humor amidst the pervasive tension. Here, they finally meet other Arid dragons, 6 of them, majestically larger than Scale Igading's dragon, suggesting a formidable ancient line with immense unknown power.
What do these Irids tell them?
Well, this profound encounter forces us to ask a critical, almost heartbreaking question. What happens when the very solution you're desperately seeking delivers a message of despair, shattering all your assumptions?
It must be crushing.
It compels a painful reevaluation of everything they thought they knew and highlights the inherent challenges of seeking external answers for deeply internal existential problems. The crushing revelation from these ancient Irids is that they see Andarna not as family, but quite coldly, as a weapon.
A weapon, not family.
Exactly. Stating unequivocally that their breed is born for peace, not violence. They claim, in a truly damning indictment of humanity, that Andarna was left behind as the criterion for human evolution, and that humans have tragically failed, continuing to use magic as a weapon, not as a tool for peace.
Wow, that's heavy judgment.
Extremely heavy. Leothan, one of the Irids, starkly states her other bond will sustain her life, implying that Andarna can indeed survive without Violet, a devastating blow to their unique, symbiotic connection, threatening the very core of their identities.
And Violet's response, how does she handle that?
Her response is one of profound heartbreak, selflessness, and ultimate sacrifice. Despite the agonizing pain of losing her bond with Andarna, a bond that defines her, she tells her beloved dragon, with tear-jerking sincerity, I love you and I want you to feel complete, even if it's not with me.
Oh my God.
Andarna then leaves, a choice that no rider is supposed to survive, as their lives are intricately entwined. This deeply emphasizes the immense depth of their bond, Violet's selfless love, and the unbearable personal cost of the war they are fighting. It's a moment that feels like the very heart of the story is being torn out, leaving a gaping wound that will undoubtedly shape her path forward.
It's not just a loss, it's a profound act of giving.
Exactly. It speaks volumes about her character.
So with that heartbreak, where do things go? Ixalan's struggle continues.
Yes. And this is where the narrative takes a truly fascinating turn, revealing a new, Unexpected signet for Violet.
Another signet.
Another signet. It complicates everything, offering a potential advantage, but at an immense personal risk that could shatter their world even further. It shows that even in the face of despair and overwhelming odds, unexpected forms of power can emerge, forcing characters to adapt in ways they never imagined. As the external war intensifies, Saden's internal battle with his Venan progression grows even more harrowing, revealing startling truths about their shared connection. Violet's nightmare, a recurring and terrifyingly vivid experience, involves a shadowy sage and Ayad wheezing in agony.
And an ultimatum.
Accompanied by a terrifying ultimatum. Cover she dies. Ayadin's own nightmares are also revealed, confirming a shared horrifying experience that binds them deeper. He admits, with palpable fear, "It's getting harder and harder not to go to Drathus, just to prove to myself that it's all in my head," highlighting his rapidly deteriorating control and the blurring lines of his sanity.
So what is the second signet?
And then, the shocking truth is revealed, a game-changer that redefines Violet's entire existence. Her second signet is dreamwalking and mind-reading.
Whoa, that's huge.
Incredibly huge. This incredibly rare and potent ability developed unknowingly on Xaden and Marin, giving her access to their deepest thoughts and dreams. Xaden reveals its exceptionally dangerous as nature, stating with chilling clarity, "You could potentially walk straight into Melgren's own dreams. They'll kill you if they find out."
The ultimate spy tool, but incredibly risky.
Exactly. This revelation fundamentally changes everything about her role and vulnerability, transforming her from a frontline lightning wielder into a clandestine weapon, capable of espionage and psychological warfare on a scale previously unimaginable. It's a massive burden of power and a new, terrifying secret she must guard with her life.
Is there any hope amidst this?
There's a tender moment. In a gesture of hope amidst the chaos, Xaden gives Violet an exquisite onyx wrist cuff made from a piece of the turret on top of Rierson House, a deeply symbolic gesture.
What does it symbolize?
It represents not just a piece of their shared history, but their future vision. You and me, holding hands, looking over the city. This tangible anchor for their hope is a beacon in the encroaching darkness, a promise of a future they're fighting to build together.
So this personal struggle, these new powers, they inevitably lead to a larger confrontation.
It's vital to see how this personal struggle and the new revelations clearly escalate to a global scale. The ensuing battle Grathus is a harrowing microcosm of the larger war, starkly highlighting the desperate, impossible choices leaders and fighters must make when faced with overwhelming odds.
And the personal cost.
It emphasizes the immense personal cost of this pervasive conflict where every life is a heavy burden. The devastating news arrives rapidly. Half of Kravla has been painted red, a horrifying image of slaughter indicating that the Venin are commanded by a powerful maven, confirming their worst fears about the enemy's coordinated strength and ruthless efficiency.
A maven, so a leader among the Venin.
A powerful one. Brennan's battle plan for Orisha is grim, bordering on suicidal. Stationing officers and older riders at city gates, with cadets, mere students, positioned at the wardstone as a last defense. This reflects the dire, almost hopeless situation they face.
But Xaden stays with Violet.
His unwavering commitment remains paramount. Whatever calculations you make, just know that I'll be going with Violet, prioritizing her presence and safety despite the monumental strategic implications. It's a profound testament to his deep personal loyalty, placing her above all tactical considerations.
They suffer more losses.
Yes, the heartbreaking loss of Traeger at Sahelna, struck down by an arrow to the heart, is a stark, brutal reminder of the grim calculus of war, where individual lives are tragically weighed against strategic gains. His death, we learn, grimly got an army out of it. A tragic exchange of life for a fighting chance.
And this maven, Theophany, she wants Violet.
Her malevolent presence is confirmed. A maven, a highly powerful venin capable of wielding immense magic who can control wind and kill storms, twisting nature itself. She explicitly states she wants Violet not to kill her, but to tip the balance, identifying her as a key piece in the larger conflict, a prize for her insidious plans.
And things get worse for the squad.
The personal toll deepens even further, as Mira, a beloved squadmate, is grievously injured, stabbed, and Brennan, a mender, a rare and invaluable magical healer, struggles desperately to save her, whispering, "There's too much damage," amplifying the desperate, almost unbearable stakes and the feeling that they are losing ground, losing loved ones with every passing moment.
But Violet fights back against Theophany.
In a moment of truly daring tactical brilliance, yes, Violet recognizes Theophanie's formidable control over wind and storms. She devises an incredibly innovative and highly risky move. She ties a conduit-sized rock to an arrow.
Okay.
Then uses her lightning signet to create a massive explosion that flings Theophanie, temporarily neutralizing her power and collapsing the devastating storm she commanded.
Using her power creatively.
It's stunning. Not just power. It's a stunning display of cunning, adaptability, and scientific understanding of her own magic under unimaginable pressure. Simultaneously, Xaden unleashes his own devastating power, an Onyx Storm, a swirling vortex of shadow and darkness enveloping Drathis and battling with immense, almost uncontrollable force.
The Onyx Storm.
The Onyx Storm itself. This showcases a new, terrifying level of his shadow signet, pushed to its absolute limits. In a display of his evolving, ruthless leadership, he makes a bold, chilling threat to Holden, who had previously betrayed them. Bring your troops into Tyrrendor, and Eric will suddenly find himself first in line for the throne.
Playing the political game hard now.
Demonstrating his newfound willingness to play the brutal political game, leveraging succession and fear to secure his objectives.
And the climax of the battle, it's painful.
The painful climax is almost unbearable. Xaden appears moments after unleashing his monstrous power with no red in his eyes.
What does that mean? Control? Or something else?
Exactly. It suggests either a moment of immense, unprecedented control over his Venan progression or a profound, terrifying shift in his very being. It's an ambiguous sign that leaves you breathless. In that moment, Violet realizes the full, devastating meaning of Redoc's earlier, seemingly offhand warning. Killing me is the easiest way to kill you. This forces her to confront the ultimate sacrifice she might have to make for Xaden, a truly terrifying choice that looms large over their intertwined destinies.
And the immediate aftermath. What's left?
Chaos reigns. Dragons, riders, and even precious dragon eggs are missing, vanished in the maelstrom. Amidst this wreckage, Xaden bears a ring with the mysterious seal of Dun on her finger, hinting at a new, profoundly mysterious connection and purpose established during the unimaginable chaos. It's a moment that leaves you with a sense of profound change, unbearable loss, and deep uncertainty for what comes next, for both them and their shattered world. So it's truly fascinating here, looking back at these excerpts from Onyx Storm, is how they reveal that genuine strength isn't just about wielding immense power, right?
Right. It's more complicated.
It's far more about navigating complex loyalties, embracing profound personal sacrifice, and adapting relentlessly to a constantly shifting, brutal battlefield. We witness, in excruciating detail, the profound impact of a single individual's choices.
Violet's choices, Agden's choices.
Exactly. Not just on their own destiny and emotional landscape, but on the very fate of nations teetering on the brink of annihilation. Every decision, from the smallest personal promise to the largest strategic gamble, echoes across the entire conflict, leaving indelible marks.
The story constantly challenges our very notions of what it means to be a hero, a leader, or even just a human or a dragon, for that matter.
Definitely.
From Violet's unwavering commitment to Xaden and her breathtaking willingness to risk literally everything for him, to the sheer grit of her squad facing seemingly insurmountable odds, it becomes abundantly clear that survival in this world demands far more than just brute force.
It demands intelligence.
Piercing intelligence, audacious cunning, and an unbreakable will to keep fighting even when all hope seems lost. We've seen the chilling vulnerability of even fortified strongholds to insidious threats like the Venan.
Highlighting that the true enemy is not always where you expect them.
Exactly. We've witnessed the critical, time-sensitive nature of alliances and the catastrophic consequences of their failure, underscoring the precariousness of their entire world.
The personal toll, too, it's immense.
Immense, driving characters to make unthinkable sacrifices and revealing unexpected depths of character, showing how even the strongest among them are tested to their absolute limits. And finally, the emergence of powerful, sometimes terrifying, new abilities.
Like the dreamwalking.
Demands not just mastery, but also incredible self-control, constantly shifting the landscape of what's possible, for better or for worse. The complex, often heartbreaking interplay between duty, love, and self-preservation in the face of annihilation is truly the beating heart of this powerful narrative. So what does this all mean for you listening? In a world where information is abundant, where allegiances can shift with the wind, and where the enemy often walks among us, how do you determine what's truly worth fighting for?
Good question.
When the lines between truth and deception, ally and enemy, blur almost beyond recognition, where do you draw your line? And when the answer you seek turns out to be a devastating, soul-crushing truth, how do you find the strength, the sheer will to continue, knowing that the greatest battles might very well be the ones fought within yourself?
This point truly highlights the dilemma, doesn't it? If a single connection, a profound bond like the one we've explored between Violet and Ingzaden, or Violet and Andarna, can be both your greatest strength and your gravest vulnerability.
The ultimate double-edged sword.
Precisely. How much of yourself, how much of your very soul are you willing to risk, not just for love, but for the future of everything you believe in and hold dear?
And that's it. We've reached the end of today's podcast on this book. If you enjoyed it, leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next whisper between the pages. Let us know in the comments what you thought of this episode and share your opinion if you've read the book. And of course, feel free to suggest a book you'd like us to cover next. See you soon.